Your energy is contagious. Your positivity is contagious. So if you are waking up and you are moping and you're like, I don't want to go through the day either, you're setting your kids up for failure.
They're going to think the same thing.
They're going to think the same thing. Kids are not going to be excited to learn from you if you're not excited to be there. Same thing for parents. If you're not excited to be present with your kids, they're not going to be excited to be there either. And so thinking of, that first, but then also, what can we put into play for kids to motivate them to want to learn? Just like we talked about, like for us, it's exercise.
Right.
For some people, it's meditation.
Right.
For some people, it's gratitude journal. What is something that motivates your kid that they can get up and do in the morning, whether it be a passion project or something that they're really interested in, or maybe they have a choice, maybe they get some choice and an opportunity of learning, but something that's going to motivate them in the morning to actually want to move throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, and it's not a reward. It's not like if you do this, I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z. It's literally figuring out what your kid is excited about. And not only in the morning time, I mean, if they have a break during the day, if instead of just eating or just resting, I mean, allow them that time and that space to express themselves.
Children are humans just like us. Their brains work just like us. How are we going to help them establish routines? And I'm going to tell you another thing for kids too. We just talked about eat the frog with adults.
Yeah.
I would teach your child this concept. And now I know that you can't always plan out the day and the content that they're learning because teachers have done that. But what are tasks in your child's day that might be a frog for them? How can we help them eat the frog earlier on in the day so that way they're more motivated to continue with the easier task as the days get, as they get a little bit tired, more tired, as they are a little bit more exhausted or whatever after school. So these concepts that we're telling you that we implement into our personal life, the same thing holds true for our kids. It's about, again, establishing what priorities need to be set and established to have a good, solid foundation to the day. And then creating goals that are sustainable.
Right.
Because if you're going to do this and say, woohoo, okay, I'm excited. This is new. This is something new. I'm going to start this. But if this isn't a practice that you do daily, it's going to have no benefits.
Yeah, consistency is the magic sauce. And again, educators, if you're listening and you've listened to Hope and I for a while, you already know that. Yeah. We always tell you, be consistent as possible. And the other part that I was just thinking about as you were talking, as we've been having these conversations, I think one of the main, and this goes for educators, this goes for parents, don't sweat the small stuff. Learn,
especially in the morning.
Learn how not to sweat the small things, the things that irritate you. I mean, is that really that big of a deal? I mean, does it impact your day as a whole? Does it impact your child's day as a whole? Does it impact your student's day as a whole? A lot of what I've recently been seeing are teachers posting pictures of their kids coming in digitally, and some of them are laying down, some of them have blankets, some of them are at barbershops, but they're tuning in. And at this point,
it's a new day in education, guys. It looks different.
Yeah,
it looks different.
But at this point, I'm like, you don't know what's going on completely inside of that home. You don't know what's going on with that child. That child is at least there.
Yeah.
And so,
they're present.
They're present. I am so thankful for that. And I know educators are too. And I think it's one of those things as, yes, living with people during this time period, education during this time period, a lot of things will irk our nerves, but we have to understand who we're living with, not to sweat the small things that don't impact our day as a whole.